Hello Year 6. So we're going to get started with our literacy lesson today, which is going to be focusing on vocabulary and spelling. Now this week's literacy learning is going to be focused on this picture. I quite liked it because I thought it linked in quite well with the topic learning that you did with Mr. K earlier on the year on natural disasters. I also thought we could get quite a lot of description from this piece, which is what we're going to be focusing on this week. Now, throughout this week, we're going to be doing some different spelling activities. We're going to be looking at sentence types and grammar to get us back into literacy mode and getting us used to writing again and thinking about spellings, thinking about punctuation, because we've had a lovely Easter break, hopefully, and we need to get back into learning mode. So, as you're watching this video clip, if you need to pause at any point because maybe I'm talking a little bit fast and you want to go over what I've said already, or maybe I've asked you to do a task and asked you to pause the screen, if you can just do so, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to talk through the PowerPoint as we go, and hopefully you can kind of listen to my voice and feel a bit more like you're in the classroom. So for your first activity then, I'd like you to look at this picture, and what I'd like you to do is mind map some different words that you could use to describe the volcano. Some different words that you could use to describe this scene. Now, I'd like you to try and use your senses to help you on this. You could use some words to describe what you could see, what you could hear, smell, taste, touch. If you were there now, what could you imagine that you would see? What could you imagine that you could hear around you as a volcano is erupting? So what I'd like you to do, Year 6, if you can please pause this video, and I would like you to map down as many different words that you can think of to describe that volcano. Off you go. What I'd like you to do now for your second task is we're going to just have a little look at how well we've got on with the spelling of those words that we've put down. Now, if you've got a dictionary to hand, then you go ahead and you can use a dictionary to check the spellings, but you can also use your devices that you've got around you. So if you've got a phone, an iPad or a laptop, you could use spell check. You can use the Siri device if you've got an Apple to check that you've spelt the words correctly. If you haven't, I would write the correct spelling next to it. And when you've got some spare time this week and you're wondering what extra learning you could do, you could maybe try and learn those spellings that you got wrong earlier. Okay, practice copying those words down. Practice writing the words in different patterns and try and learn those different words that you spelt wrong earlier in the week. Okay, can you pause me there? And you're going to have a go at checking the spellings. So these are some of the words that I came up with for this scene. Disastrous, dangerous, enormous, hazardous, tremendous, mountainous. What do you notice about these different words that I've came up with? Is there anything that's repeated in those different words? Is there a certain spelling rule that's came up in those words? Okay, hopefully you've noticed that the end of all those words, they end in O-U-S. Disastrous, mountainous, enormous, dangerous, tremendous, hazardous. What you're going to do for me is you're going to practice spelling those words before we test them. Okay, these words are going to really expand your vocabulary. Imagine if you can use the word hazardous, disastrous, mountainous in a piece of writing. It would be phenomenal. So what you're going to do is you're going to have a bit of time now to practice spelling those words. Now, when you're practicing your spellings, you can just write the words out. If that's going to work with you, you can just write them all out. You could maybe do some different patterns with the words. So instead of just writing them a straight line, you could do some swirls and you could write them on there. You could draw a picture of like a flower or a volcano, and inside that volcano you've got to write the word enormous as many times as you can. You need to write the word disastrous as many times as you can in the flower. Whatever it is that you would like to do to try and help you learn those spellings, you might in fact find it helps you just by saying the letters out. Dangerous, Dangerous, dangerous. That might work for you. So what I'd like you to do is just pause the video clip here and you can spend as long as you like practicing those spellings. Then when you're ready, if you unpause me and we'll move on to the next slide where I can kind of test you on them. Okay, pause. Okay, year 6, let's have a go at these spellings then. So, we'll do question 1, tremendous. Tremendous. Question 2, disastrous. Disastrous. Question 3, dangerous. Dangerous. Question 4, mountainous. Mountainous. Question 5, enormous. The volcano was enormous. And finally, number 6, which one haven't we done yet? Hazardous. Hazardous. Okay, ready to mark your spellings? Okay, the spellings should be on the screen now. So if you can mark them yourself, see how you get on. Don't worry if you haven't got them all right, there's plenty of time that you can practice them. What I'd like you to do when you're finished, guys, is I'd like you to keep these words somewhere where you're going to be able to access them for the next few lessons. So keep the words that you've been practicing spelling and also keep those descriptive words that you came up with at the beginning of the lesson. So the different words that you came up with for the volcano, because you're going to need them later on in the week. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that, guys, and it got you back into literacy mode, back into learning mode, back into school mode. Okay, thank you for joining in, guys, and I hope that you're all really well. We miss you lots, but we're looking forward